Don't worry if you've never used the IPA, you've never used phonetic symbols, if you don't speak English as a second language. Don't worry if you're not sure about this, because your 3 and 4-year-olds will absolutely love it, because they will be able to read books without you. They just follow the monster sounds to say the words. Here's our monster mat. There's a monster, speech sound monster for every English speech sound. So who's this, you ask? This is monster or. Or. Here is monster or. There's monster or. That's the phonetic symbol, but we don't need to teach children those. However, it's really, really useful for them to understand. So when they come to reading a book, and in their phonics, in their explicit phonics instruction, in their code levels, they haven't yet come across the OOR for the representation for or. Don't worry, because they can just follow the monster sounds to say the words do or door. And if they can't remember, which they will do because they've been using the monsters since day one, all the monsters. Just have a look at 2-year-olds and see how quickly they learn all of the monster sounds. Yes.
What is this monster? Good girl. What is this monster? Good girl. Tit. Well done.
Monster all is on holiday. Loch Ness. Come back soon.
You show me, where's the first sound? Good boy. And what's the second sound? And what's the third sound? Good job. So what word is it? Good job. What if we changed this one to this one? Now tell me what word it is. Yeah, now
So
it's
all the monster sounds we use in English, and we're just going to think about what are the pictures for these speech sounds on paper. What do they look like? In this particular word, door, the picture, the speech sound picture for or, there's monster or. His speech sound picture is OOR. So we've got 26 letters of the alphabet, but about 350 to 450 or so combinations of speech sounds, 2 graphemes. So here's our monster mat, which you get in your Monster Mapping Kit handbook. So all the children do is go through step 1 using their Monster Mapping Kit handbook. They go through that. They start on their decodable readers with the code levels, the 4 SSP code levels. So they'll go through their decodable readers, but round about when they're here in their own learning journey, this is when they can start these unique I can read without you readers, and they love them. So if they're not sure of the sounds, they're not sure of the graphemes, they can look at the monsters and follow the monster sounds to say the words. And while they're doing this, we explore. Oh, explore. Do or door. I wonder if the picture for or is the same in explore. And let's put or, and let's explore the or. Oh, look at that. The or spelling cloud keyring with an example word at the top. So look how many representations for or there are. So in our code levels, we'll look at, in our explicit phonics teaching, we'll look at the high frequency ones like this one, or like in August. This one, or like in you for me and me for you, or like in claw, or like in sure is hot. So here are all the spelling choices for all of the monsters, all of the speech sound monsters. So on the back here, you can see the speech sound monsters and their phonetic symbols. If you're a speech pathologist or you speak English as a second language, you'll be able to use that as your reference. But use the SSP Monster Sounds app, and it means that the children, whilst they can read any books without you, and because they can work out the words, not through 3Qing, which can be really useful. You can use 3Qing so they can work out the words, as long as they also explore the phoneme to grapheme mapping. So use all the skills and concepts they have to extend to get them to the self-teaching phase as soon as possible. So here, whilst they're doing this, it doesn't matter what level they're at, code level for phonics, they can have a look at this. Oh, look in the word door, it's an O-O-R. One of the reasons that people still keep thinking A for Apple kind of phonics programs. Now, in the UK, which is where I am now, and I used to be an inspector of education for the UK government, an Ofsted inspector, but 10 years in England schools have been told to use something called synthetic phonics, very much A for Apple type programs. A lot of them are print to speech phonics programs, because all phonics programs are totally different. Just because you're teaching phonics doesn't mean you're going to be effectively teaching children to map phonemes to graphemes. But let's think about, people say, well, why did you use this? Why did you use this monster for A? Why on earth didn't you use an apple or something? Why didn't you have, like here, why did you have this monster here instead of, you know, like an egg or something? Or here, why didn't you have an ant? Oh, look, and here's two different ones. So here, that's because here the A is a representation for A, but here it's actually a schwa, although we do use the blue cow because of discussions which if you'll have seen the toddlers and the 3 and 4 year olds, you'll understand why. But it's because we don't want children to think of, right from the beginning, we don't want them to think and just be stuck on that, because otherwise they're going to be really, really confused when they go to a word like many. So they've got to think, if you've got a picture of an egg there, they've got to think egg, and their brain is going to go, what? Hold on, I thought it was an E, because there's a monster there for there's an emoji or something for an egg. It's much easier if the focus is purely and simply that the monsters do not represent a letter, because letters don't make sounds. The monsters only love the letters if the letters represent their sounds. So this monster A is only going to love the letter A if it's in a word where it's representing that sound A, like in table. Monster A is not going to like this letter A because this letter A represents the speech sound. It's the word
E.
many. And like this word, what's this word? Well, if you didn't know, it's fine, because you can see there's 3 sounds because it goes black, grey, black. And we've got, what's this? What's this? What's this?
D.
And that's why the children can work out any word on their own without help, including words that a lot of people for a long time have called sight words, and told the children, oh, it just doesn't apply. A for apple just doesn't apply in the word many or what have you. And what we're saying is there's a speech to print approach, and we're saying actually the speech sounds that we say can be represented on paper using pictures of sounds, and the monsters love their own sound. So let's explore all of the choices for the monster sounds. So what about monster E? Let's find monster E. Oh, where are you, monster E? So there's monster E. And this is why phonics falls down, because phonics programs don't cover all of the spelling choices for E. They might cover the high frequency ones, like we do, but they don't cover all of them. So the children are going to be stuck when they're trying to read a word like leopard, or said, or many, or says, or berry, or leisure. So we're just taking the difficult out of learning to read and spell, and we're making it logical for every child. It's mathematical, it all maps. Every word is segmented, every word shows the speech sounds. Every speech sound monster have their own pictures of the sounds, why we called it the Speech Sound Picks Approach, SSP.